When you're building your fire, you want to make sure that you have a good nest to get started. Now you've got your kindling set aside, you've got your larger pieces of wood so that you can build your fire. But the first thing you need to do is build your nest. Now a lot of folks, they'll try to use a knife, which is great, you know, it's usable, but if you want to have a sharp knife, I wouldn't recommend using a knife. Another problem with using a knife is people will try to shave off pieces of wood, and oftentimes you don't get those fine little fibers that you need for building a nest. And so with that said, I'm going to go ahead and put the knife away, and I'm going to pull out my favorite tool, which is a shovel. Now this little hand shovel, I've taken and I've sharpened the edge of it so that I can use it as a scraping device. I use it for other purposes as well, but it's easy to sharpen it right back up after I've done some digging, and I can use it for creating my nest. Best explanation is just to start. Now you're going to go ahead and you're going to hold it at an angle. Let's find a piece right here on this tree limb. You want to use a dry wood, doesn't matter what type you use. Dry wood works the best. I'm going to hold it at an angle like this, and I'm just going to start scraping. And the idea is to get nice long strokes so that you're curling up longer, finer fibers of the wood. And you don't have to peel the bark off a tree if it's got a fine bark like this tree does. If it's got a thicker bark, you may want to peel the bark off. You can actually scrape the underside of the bark as well. You can even scrape part of the wood on the tree. See, now I'm getting down into the wood, which is just fine. And it works just as well. It's one of those things you're going to have trial and error. If what you try doesn't work, then try a different wood. Okay, looks like I've got enough to get a little nest started. I'm going to go ahead and clean that log off. Now we've got all these fibers, we're going to go ahead and organize them into a nice little pile. Now it's always a good idea to have some type of a drop cloth with you if you've got one available. In this case I'm using a piece of leather. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and transfer that nest into my shovel. Another reason I like using the shovel is because I don't have to get down on my hands and knees and sit there and blow and get smoke all over in my face. I can bring it right up to close to my mouth, and I can blow on it. We're going to get into that technique a little bit later, but we can take this now, we can place an amber inside it, or we can get a spark started on it and get our fire going. Let's go ahead and set it aside and show you the different ways we can get ambers going.